we're going to ban it anyway. And then the Wild Soul ban, I think we're going to see more and more teams doing that because more and more teams are picking it, and people are realizing that it's a really hard hero to play against. In pretty much any situation, and you lane him short lane, suicide lane, you jungle with him. Jungle with him is actually almost the weakest way to play him in most situations, but it's just so hard to deal with him once he gets a good start. He's so tanky, he's bear does so much damage to towers. Once he gets that mock, it solo kills supports, as we saw last game. So that's a fine ban, I think, as well.
Now, this is interesting, because remember the first game, we did have Dynasty, they blind banned a Tremble in that banning phase. And you see right here, the locking phase happened, they locked Pebbles, good first lock by Dynasty. Then Tremble and Glacius locked by DreamHoN. So I guess Dynasty did do the research, and DreamHoN, you even made the point they were maybe playing a little bit of Tremble lately. And very likely could see it here now because of that. So I find that very interesting here. So we'll see, what this Tremble play is all about, perhaps, if DreamHoN ultimately decides to pick it up here.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the recent games. I don't really see any Tremble games. I see one on KZU's stats, but he was 1-0-0 and lost.
Loss, yeah.
I don't know what that's all about. That's kind of an interesting stat to lose with, 1-0-0. But I know Sender likes Tremble a lot, actually. So we'll see. I don't know. That's interesting. And the lock pool is now finished. They ended it with Parasite Cthulhuphant from Dynasty, and then a final lock of an Amphora. So pretty strong locks there.
Yeah, pretty strong overall. So yeah, really intriguing though to see if DreamHoN plays Tremble. I love watching Tremble, and I know you yourself actually played it a couple times for TDM, and there was a phase, especially the previous DreamHack, wasn't this DreamHack Summer, the previous DreamHack Winter, where he was actually really dominant for several teams. I know Frey back then loved to use him as well. So the Jabba Wabba Tremble, good old days. Very entertaining hero, and I love to see him played in the sense that like you actually play it, where you spread those mounds out to all three lanes. You're moving all over the place. You're microing that minion, setting up ganks with him while farming as well in Tremble. So it can be a very versatile hero, but there is that skill cap to the hero as well, similar to a Tremble, because you're microing so much with that minion. So we'll see, though, who ends up playing him for DreamHoN, again, if they end up picking him up. The banning phase finishing, though, Jerizaiah Magnus, Plague Rider, Bubbles, Tempest, and Moraxis here. Okay, nothing too strange about those. First pick of Luna. It seems like we see a lot of first picks of Luna, so not surprising, though.
Yep, I've been saying for a while. I mean, this hero is one of the best heroes in the game right now. When you think of best heroes in the game, usually comes to mind as like carry heroes, like best hero in the game, Dark Lady. He can take over a game, but you don't really look at the behind the scenes. I mean, what is making that Dark Lady able to farm? What if the Dark Lady is already winning her lane? What hero is going to watch the mid lane and then secure farm for that hero? It's like a hero like a Luna. I mean, a Luna just makes every lineup so easy as far as laning goes, and that's the behind scenes I'm talking about. It's not always the carry hero that wins the games. And in fact, most of the time it's the support heroes that really make the game happen for these heroes.
Yeah, so Luna first pick, and not surprising there. Behemoth, Forsaken Archer to follow it up for DreamHoN. I always enjoy seeing Behemoth play coming out, and definitely the makings of what could be a lane and could possibly even try lane if they, depending on how things finish off, of course. But so a strong start here for DreamHoN, and again, you got to remember Dynasty almost out to thinking that, or you would think that they're going to go with that Pebbles first pick out of the locking pool. So getting that Aluna obviously very strong for them, but also for DreamHoN, they could be pretty confident that they can get either Glacius or an Amphora with no problem in that round of the locking pick phase. So the final two picks coming up here for Dynasty as far as the first picking phase goes. We'll see who they have in mind to then finish things off when it comes down to it. But I would think actually a carry. If they want to carry, I mean, this is where you go carry for them, because there's not going to be, you got to think that Tremble will be picked up by DreamHoN, and then if you even classify him as a hard carry. So that locking pool doesn't have many. So we'll see, Dark Lady, Mage Bane, of course, and still, wow, all three are on the board, actually. That's actually really interesting, but not going to be either one. Instead, they go with Pyromancer, Electrician here, so going a more crowd control route.
Interesting. I don't like the Electrician pick really at all. I actually really like Pyro as a hero. I think the hero's very underrated and underused. Gauntlet picked up. Wow, very interesting.
Now,
maybe a level 1 Conqueror?
oh, wow, yeah, there's always that. Now, Electrician, something to keep in mind, if they assume that they're going to pick up Tremble, the Cleansing Shot can actually be pretty powerful against the minion, if I'm not mistaken, because of the damage it deals.
Oh, does it?
Does it count as a summoned unit? I would think so. Does it not?
I don't
Maybe it doesn't,
know.
actually.
I don't remember. Maybe
God,
maybe someone
I
in
hate these
Stream Chat in
mechanic
6
things.
minutes will start screaming at
Oh
us.
no, there's gonna be in chat. You idiot! You're so stupid. No, it doesn't. No, it's gonna happen.
I
but
didn't think it did, but
maybe
I
it doesn't actually. Okay. See, I went with the I'm very confident with this route, but then with your reaction, never mind. So.
I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know.
No. Okay. Actually, it might not then. That you know what? I don't think it does. Now that I'm actually really thinking about it, because that would be very very powerful.
Wow, they didn't go with
You can just, like,
Pebbles.
take that out, but. Wow, you're right. Maybe they just assume that they're not going to pick up Pebbles because it's okay, but they do. Interesting. Yeah, they finish off with Cthulhuphon here, huh? Why do you think they stayed away from Pebbles? I mean, was it because of the Gauntlet? Did that scare them? I don't know.
I think what you're thinking is that they'll like, well, they have too many farmers, or maybe they just maybe they just didn't think that Team DreamHoN was going to pick him, but. They went Glacius Pebbles. That's like the best lane in the whole game. Oh man, yeah, I definitely would have picked Pebbles. But hey, whatever. We'll see. We'll see if they can make something work with this Cthulhuphon pick.
That was one of those cases for DreamHoN. They're like, wait, what? Okay, we're gonna take these two heroes. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna just make the, as you put it, arguably the best lane composition, at least a competitive on. So with the Glacius Pebbles. So yeah, that's gonna be difficult here for the Legion team. You gotta now. I mean, look at these lineups. Our Hellborn side, so not only did they get Pebbles, but again, they picked up Gauntlet just before that as well, remember, with the regular picking phase. And that in itself was actually very interesting. So that's a lot of gotcha burst potential that this Hellborn team will have just between Pebbles and Gauntlet alone. So no Tremble pickup, though. That's the unfortunate thing.
We're not going to see him this
Forward to seeing
game.
that.
But yeah, with Gauntlet, I don't really like him here, to be honest. I mean, like I said before, he has to kind of snowball, and now you have two heroes that have to snowball. But then you have a lot of farmers on your team. I mean, you're gonna have to get those Treads Portal Key picked up on Pebbles, and you're gonna have to get some kind of boots and then Portal Key picked up on Gauntlet for him to be effective. But then you also have to have a lot of farm on your Forsaken Archer because she's her carry. But then you also have to have a Portal Key eventually picked up on your Behemoth as well. So there's a lot of heroes that need farm on this Hellborn team, and so
Yeah.
hopefully they're not worried about that too much because they have a lot of ganky potential as well. So it's kind of an awkward team composition, still very strong, but it's going to be not as easy to execute it as one might think.
Yeah, you're right. It's a good amount of spreading out the farm that this Hellborn team will have to do. Dynasty, you see off the bat, of course, sitting in a pause here, but we are getting an idea that currently sitting all 5 top, and I believe they actually did a very similar thing last game as well, where they just want to get that ward up, and they're going to do whatever it takes to do that. So sending all 5 top in this case, but yeah, as far as how they're going to lane, I mean, I don't think, I mean, is it obvious to you or not really? I mean,
I don't know. Maybe
I think Tri-Lane Cthulhu font with Pyro and Electrician solo. I think Pyro's rushing a bottle build, so he's probably going to be mid.
Okay. Yeah, that looks like a mid or bottom kind of lane. Pyro is hoarding. Yeah, Pyro is like Pyro. Why did I say Pyro? Pyro is going kind of that fast bottle as well with the 260 gold saved up, and he's probably going to go mid there. So yeah, I think you're right. The Tri-Lane Nymphora, Aluna, Cthulhu font top. Probably Pyro mid and Electrician bottom.
Yeah.
Which could be, I mean, this could be a strong lane. They, the only thing is fighting against a tri-lane when you're fighting against a Behemoth is very awkward because no matter all the heroes that you have, if you get spread out with that Fisher block and it gets a good one, and you're isolated from the rest of your, tri-lane, that's be a very, very free kill for the enemy team.
Yeah.
So it's a little awkward, but they should have a decent time.
Well, and that point as well, I mean, and what the Hellborn team may do to react to this, I'm guessing that they're going to send Forsaken Behemoth top initially with Pebbles, Glacius bottom. And then if they could just leave the Pebbles down there and then adjust Glacius to the top lane. So they can make it a tri versus tri lane. And actually, Forsaken Behemoth Glacius tri lane, that has a lot of power in its own right. So That could actually get really interesting if that happens. Again, we're kind of just playing scenarios out in our head, and well, the game actually has to be played to actually see what happens. So we'll see in the end. We're still waiting on Sender, actually. Glacia's player still hasn't reconnected. Hopefully nothing too serious there, but should be coming back on and then resuming shortly here in what is game number 2 again between DreamHoN and Dynasty. Of course, DreamHoN up 1-0 after a very, very powerful victory in game 1. Dynasty looked good at times, but DreamHoN is just really aggressive. You said even borderline cheese, you could say, but that Tempest and Wild Soul just pushed so heavily, especially early on, and it was difficult for Dynasty to deal with. So it looks like he is reconnecting now, so that's a good sign. New Gauntlet skin, by the way. This is actually the new ones. I don't even know what it's classified as. It's more like samurai style.
Yeah.
Samurai Gauntlet. I don't think I've actually seen it before, so always exciting to see new skins like that. But yeah, he's heading mid, it looks like, and you know, if we expect it to take place. Gauntlet versus Pyromancer mid, actually. How do you think that should fare?
Pyro should have the advantage. A little bit. I mean, Gauntlet has a Shield Hatchet, as he should. I mean, Shield Hatchet on any melee hero is so strong, especially against ranged heroes. So if he wants to, he's pretty much going to get every single creep. He's going to take a lot of harass damage in the meantime, but, you know, it's very important to get every single last hit. In the mid lane when you're trying to rush a bottle, as Gauntlet's definitely a hero that needs his bottle quickly. But he'll do fine. If he does get a lucky hook, though, Pyro could be in a lot of trouble. I'm personally, I'm very bad with the Gauntlet hook, so yeah. I underrate the hero a bit. I've seen some people that just are so good with those hooks, and it can be really devastating in mid against a hero that is very, very squishy like Pyro.
Yeah, so we'll see how Pyro fares against him in that middle lane. You do see KZ right there kind of at least confirming, and I'll definitely take his word for it, the Cleansing Shock does not work as far as damage against Boris.
Boris.
Boris. So glad they renamed that. Boris the minion. Reminds me of the movie Snatch. Freaking amazing movie.
Oh,
Boris
yeah.
the Bullet Dodger.
Boris.
What did they call him? The Bullet Dodger. He dodges bullets, heavy. Anyways, so Sender is back in, so hopefully we can have a resume here in the very near future, and we can get going. Some Heroes of New Earth, of course. The other matches that are taking place today, well, there's only... Okay, so there are 2 other matches that are going on. I wasn't able to double check on them, but of course Complexity was taking on Sash. We got to catch the first game of that, and I would think by now Complexity has maybe won the series 2-0, but again, I actually don't know, so I'm not going to necessarily confirm that by any means. But then there was Fit, was actually a better looking than you, playing against Bochi, BOCE, which is actually apparently a team that, you know, it's a pretty solid team. We don't know really much about them. I believe they're a Swedish team, but actually looking fairly good. So hopefully after this series, or maybe after this game at the very least, we should have some updates for you guys on how those are happening. Of course, the Impunity versus Saishi, that did get postponed. It looks like to tomorrow at this rate, which was the match we were originally going to cast, but happy to be here casting some Dynasty versus DreamHoN. But yeah, things are taking place. It looks like, well, right off the bat, actually, DreamHoN going with a tri-lane top, so they don't even send the Glacius with Pebbles bottom. They just send him top immediately. And actually, Gauntlet going bottom is going to be Pebbles mid instead, so switching things up completely even.
Yeah, and it looks like they might try some kind of nerdery here in the mid lane. I don't know. I can't tell. But these heroes are setting up for some kind of level 1 bloodlust gank, or maybe they're not. Actually, no, they're walking back towards
the courier
top
spotted
lane.
them. So, yeah, the chicken spotted them. He even said sup. So, see the high chicken. So, yeah, it's not going to work. They knew that they were there, so instead going to go back to top.
This is the annoying thing as a spectator. I can't tell whose chicken is whose because it doesn't show, like...
Well, if you scroll over it, it's red. So the red is the Hellborn, the green is a Legion.
Okay.
So
well,
that's like the only way.
Alright, I guess you can.
But yeah, you can't tell by like the mini-map. You have to actually click on it.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks, but...
But yeah, we have Electrician taking on Gauntlet bottom. That should be a really interesting lane. Gauntlet's, or Electrician, I've said before, is very, very good against melee heroes. As right there, you see some aggression there, and once he gets that shield level up, it's just going to kind of tank creep waves and hurt Gauntlet at the same time. This top lane, there's going to be some action here. I can feel it.
Safe guess, yeah. Tri-lane versus Tri-lane. We usually get that effect. We see right here, N4 right off the bat. Rod is here calling it. In comes a trample from Cthulhu though, trying to save his life, and it may have just done that. Behemoth is chasing, does have another fidget stun ready to go, actually, because of all the minor totems he has, giving him a big enough mana pool. And N4, the health potion she's going to be completely blocked, though, on the ledge, and one more auto attack will do her in. So a good pursuit coming out there from DreamHoN, and they get the bloodlust kill in favor of Keizu. So that was really a perfect case scenario start there.
Yeah, definitely, and you know, that's a lot of damage and a lot of stuns and snares coming up from the Hellborn team, and they played it really well there. Pyro versus Pebbles. This matchup should be pretty interesting because Pyro should win because he's got like a lot of harass. He's a ranged hero, but Pebbles, man, if you get out of position and that combo gets you perfectly, it could pretty much one-shot you. Now, they did nerf the damage a little bit, but it still does a ton of damage. Right now, you can see a lot of aggression coming out from the Pyro. Hits the stun. He's gone for a 1-1-1 build right now, which actually leveled up Fervor. I actually really like that because early on, you don't really have to spam waves that much. Actually, aggression coming out from the bottom. Oh, no, nothing too bad. But the Fervor damage on melee heroes especially, it really stacks up because you can get a lot of hits on them. Ranged heroes not so much because obviously there's a lot of space in between you. So yeah, this should be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, he actually went level 1 Fervor, which is interesting. But
okay. I like that.
Right off the bat. So yeah, but now he has a 1-1. In fact, you see right there, the combo lands. The uphill attack, so he will miss the first one. So not able to stack it fully, but still a good amount of stacks there. And again, as you put it, damage adding up. They're on a Pebble, so needs to be careful. But speaking of being careful, Glacius moving towards the middle lane. And if Pyromancer overextends, but he did walk right past the ward aside, actually, which was just placed here by our yellow player in Nymphora. So that's good positioning by Pyromancer, realizing that, and he's going to be fine. He does have his bottle already. Of course, we mentioned he went the kind of the quick bottle build as a result of his early items. So paying off right there. The 2-minute rune is bottom, actually, and Gauntlet also going a bottle. He actually manages to get it. So the side lane bottle working out there for Gauntlet right off the bat.
Yeah, that's actually quite a quick bottle there from Gauntlet as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in the long lane and he still got it by 3 minutes. That's pretty good. And actually some aggression, but did he hook him?
He hooked his illusion.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Yep.
Very interesting.
Oops.
But some roaming coming out from the Legion team as well. Only level 1 and 4, but the stun is still there if they decide to go on them. Cthulhu taking some damage, though they realize it, but he will be fine. So yeah, I don't know. These supports kind of haven't made up their mind yet as to what they want to do, and they're actually both holding one war on them. Very interesting.
In fact, you see right there, one going down. Yeah, they just placed one. Of course, they're running by another on the Hellborn side, which they can't see, but they're going to try to go back to the middle lane. But in the meantime, Pyromancer dropping quickly. The final auto attack coming out, and Chubby Chris 2 on Pebbles will get the kill. So good support coming out from Glacius right there. Seeing that the support was no longer there, they actually saw them at the top rune, of course, so that was the timing, and it played very well. So good catch happening on a Pyromancer, and that, if it wasn't one already, which it really wasn't, you can now say Pebbles has the advantage here in the middle lane because of that.
Yeah, and right there you see why Glacius Pebbles is considered one of the best lanes in the game. You have so much burst from both of the heroes, but then you factor on the fact that, like,